Hello there people, what is up? Armando here, welcome to my WWE Clash of Champions 2017 review. Let's get to it. Pre-show was Mojo and Zack Ryder. Did exactly what it needed to do. Mojo got the win, 6 minutes 55. In a good match. It did what it needed to do, like I said. Mojo beat the hell out of Zack Ryder. I liked how it ended with Mojo just destroying him with that running punch thing that he does, or when they did the slow-mo thing, it was more like a running forearm. Looked nasty as hell. But yeah, did exactly what it needed to do. Put Mojo over as a heel. He's got this new theme song, which is not the best. I understand where the idea they were going with it. Maybe some tweaks here and there and it could be better, but I think we'll get used to it like I do with a lot of the songs. But yeah, Mojo got the win in an alright little match. Moving on, we go into the main show. Dolph Ziggler surprisingly became the US champion, defeating Corbin and Rude, 12 minutes 45. An alright match. Not the best triple threat match, there's been better triple threat matches, but it was alright, it was good. Actually ended, the most memorable thing for me was the ending where Corbin hit the end of days on Rude, but Ziggler hit a zigzag at the exact same time on Corbin and pinned Corbin and got the win. That surprised the hell out of me. I thought that was awesome, and when he won I couldn't believe it. I just did not see that happening at all, and I doubt there had been many other people that seen that coming. Very good, and like I said, good match. Like, not the best, but it was alright. There's a thing afterwards where Corbin was mad and he started throwing a bin all over the place. It was pretty funny. Moving on to the highlight of the show, in my opinion, whereas Aiden English and Rusev, mostly Aiden English, singing his 12 Days of Christmas thing, or his 12 Days of Rusev. That was awesome, and the crowd just was eating it up and loving it and singing along and what have you and chanting along. It was just great. And then the Usos had their thing as well, where they did 12 days, 11 days, 12 days down to nothing, and then they kept saying lockdown and the crowd was singing along with it as well. But honestly, the Aiden English thing was just great, and I love that that him two are getting over with the crowd. And there was times in the match where they looked like they could have won, looked like anybody could have won. And I think everybody looked really good in the match. It was a good match. I would say about a quarter or a third of it was a little bit slow and boring. Like it got rest holdy at one point, which surprised me. I didn't expect that for a fatal 4-way. Usually these matches are just all out crazy, but I think the whole thing where it was 4 people in at the same time kind of hurt it at times. But yeah, I think they made it work. The rest of the match was really good. The most surprising moment would have been Chad Gable with this nasty ass German suplex on Aiden English, where that just had to hurt. It just had to do some damage to Aiden. He landed right on his head. I think it was kind of his fault because he jumped, and then Chad Gable, but he, pulled him over at the same time, and he just went flying right on his head. It just had to do some damage, but eventually Jay and Jimmy super kicked him or whatever and had the splash on Gable, got the win. Good match, I liked it. Moving on, we have the lumberjack thing where Natalya lost via submission, 10 minutes 35. It was okay. It was okay. There wasn't really much to the match because it was more just the lumberjacks all the time. That was the story. It was just someone getting thrown out and getting beat up, and then the lumberjacks all fighting with each other. At one point, Carmella looked like she was actually going to cash in during the match, and then the other lumberjacks came in and they just beat everyone up. Naomi jumped on all of the lumberjacks at one point. So did Charlotte. She did like a moonsault on them all at one point. But then they get in the ring. Talia goes for the sharpshooter, but she counters. Flair puts the figure 8 on and gets the win. And then afterwards, bloody Natalya has this promo that she's like crying and says she's had enough of the WWE universe and she's now gonna turn her back on the WWE universe. She's been heel for a while now. It kind of doesn't really make sense for her. So yeah, I thought she was gonna quit. That's where I thought it was going. I thought she was gonna say she's had enough and she was quitting. But no, she just said she's turning her back on the WWE Universe. I mean, that would have made sense. She said something like that months ago when she turned heel, but she just said it then. I was just like, random. So yeah, the match was okay. It was alright. Then we move on. We have Breezango versus the Bludgeon Brothers, which was 1 minute 55, and the Bludgeon Brothers just destroyed Breezango. Like, they literally got no offense in. Breezango. I can understand jobber teams, but Breezango's an established team, and they've been, they're very over with the crowd and been doing all this fashion fair things. They could have at least got some offense in, but they got nothing. They just got absolutely destroyed. I don't really agree with that. I think they should have at least gotten something in, but they didn't. Rowan like slam Breeze's face into the apron. There's a double team thing. And they did their double powerbomb thing, and then the crucifix bomb thing, and they got the win. There was a promo thing afterwards saying some stuff about bludgeoning and pain and stuff. It was okay. I just don't think it should have been a straight up squash match for Breezango. That wasn't good in my opinion. Anywho's, moving on, we have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeating Shinsuke and Randy Orton. 21 minutes 40, lasted a long ass time. They initially said this was going to be the main event. I think on like the pre-show or something, or at some point during the show, they said this was going to be the main event. I was like, oh, okay, something must be going to go down here. But then when it came here, I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, they won. There wasn't really much to the match. The only sort of highlight probably would have been Kevin Owens frog splashing Nakamura through one of the announce tables. But the rest of the match was, the whole story was Daniel Bryan and Shane trying to do things at the same time, like trying to pin at the same time and it not happening at all. And then they finally decided to split the ring and say, you do this side and I'll do this side. So I got the story they were doing there, I did see what they were trying to do there, but eventually it came down to to Shane going for the pinfall, counting the pin on Sami rolling up Orton. He does two and then he stops, and where he should have continued and gotten the pin for Sami, but he wouldn't do it, and Bryan gets pissed at him, and they start pushing each other, and then they think Shane's at the other side, and Daniel Bryan just does a quick 3 count, which makes sense. Shane screwed Sami that should have won right there, so it made sense for that to happen. I think people will turn on Shane, they won't turn on Bryan. I think that's how it'll go. Maybe that's what they want to do, is turn on Bryan. That's what they're hoping will happen, but I don't think that'll happen. I think people will turn on Shane more. But you never know, they might do something else that Bryan becomes heel, I don't know. The other thing was, it looked like Orton was going to win, and then Kevin Owens pushed Daniel Bryan, he went flying on top of Shane. So I guess maybe Daniel Bryan is going to get back into the ring. I mean, that wasn't a full-on bump, he just fell on Shane, but never know, they might be setting that up sometime, WrestleMania or something. So yeah, I liked that. I thought that was a cool ending. I have no issue with that at all. I have no issue with screwy endings like that. I think it's okay. I mean, happened all the time in the beloved Attitude Era, but then these people complain about screwy endings or whatever. I don't get it. Anyways, moving on, we have, in my opinion, the most boring match of the night was AJ defeating Jinder 23 minutes by submission. I just didn't like this match. I just couldn't get into it. I just wasn't liking it at all. It was Jinder working the ribs, I think, of AJ most of the match. I think that was the whole story. He just kept attacking the ribs and the stomach and the back and what have you. I just didn't like it. I just couldn't get into it at all. I was just very bored by it. I kept having to rewind and watch stuff again because I had no idea what was happening. Like, my mind was just drifting. It just it just wasn't doing it for me. Like, I just didn't like it at all. There wasn't really much happening. If I might have to maybe go back and watch it again, or maybe just have it on in the background while I'm doing other stuff and just check in every now and then. But I don't like it. I just did not like it. But AJ, he hit a Styles Clash on the Singh brothers on the outside, on one of them anyway, and a phenomenal forearm because they pulled Jinder out when AJ was about to win. Yeah, then ended with Jinder was going for like the Styles Clash. Yeah, Jinder was going for it. He didn't get it, so Styles puts the calf crusher on and tightens it up. He crossed the ropes, but then AJ rolls him around and then he tapped out. I was like, okay, that's fine. But yeah, I don't like the match. I didn't think it was very good. So yeah, there's my review, pretty quick. Like I said, I didn't really have much to say. I did like most of the other matches, but the main event didn't really do much for me. I'm not saying the other matches were great or anything. They were enjoyable and they had some good moments, like the Fatal 4-Way Tag was good, and the Triple Threat had its moments. And I liked the Mojo thing. I thought they did good stuff there with Mojo. But I didn't really like the main event. I didn't really like it. The Kevin Owens thing, it was a bit clumsy or whatever, or cluttered with the whole Shane Daniel thing, but it told an alright story. But I just did not like AJ versus Jinder. Didn't like it. So, yep, that's it. I have nothing else to say. Tell me what you thought, but I don't know if I'm going to bother with these. I know I said this last year and I've said it before, but I get no feedback. I have no reason to continue doing these things, so I probably won't bother. We'll see come Royal Rumble, but I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it anymore. When I get no feedback, what's the point? What is the point? If you watched, thank you. If you didn't, well, you're just like the other 20,000 subscribers of mine. See you later.